stream after like 20 to 30 days, sorry, 15 to 20 days. It's not gonna be my typical stream like doing coding and all, like the things, but like coding and doing projects. But now it's an tech. So for today's stream, the theme is going to be tech and tools. So all techs and tools that I have gathered for you guys. So let's read them. Actually, before, let me check that this stream going on. Okay, yes, it's streaming. So the first, so before that, let me actually record this. Okay, start recording. Okay, yes. So React Native make it official, but what? Okay, let's read it. Today's issue: turn on your safety up to 11 rediscover to pay. That's sent to the issue by bytes.dev. Okay, the main thing looks like we are all expert developers now, brothers. Do any of you guys, any of you guys used React Native? So actually, kind of sometime for like 2 to 3 days I worked on React Native. So I do know something. This is like similar to React Native, but so it's similar to React, but it's not totally React. Let's do so. For running React Native apps, uh, we do have different options like Expo and all, like React. I think so. Get started. Wait, get started. Okay. Before before it was to like create an React Native app and all, but now it's officially that React Native is an Expo project. We have to use Expo now. We have to use Expo now for React Native. So React Native just declared that using Expo framework is now officially recommended way to build React Native apps. There are others frameworks so that we can use to build a React Native app, but it's declared by the React Native team that yeah, Expo is the thing that you should start with, and and you don't have to learn other things. Yeah, let's see like what React Native blog. Okay, use framework to build React Native apps. At React conference, we updated our guidance on best tool to get started building React Native apps. So a React Native frameworks or toolbox with all necessary API tool to build a necessary build new production ready apps. Using React Native frameworks such as Expo is now recommended to create a new app. In this blog post, we want you to walk through what they are in detail and what they mean for you to use sorry mean for you as a React developer starting a new project. Okay, what is React Native? If you all don't know React Native frameworks, if you have been building production app, you probably know that there are set of common problems you need to solve sooner or later. Like yeah, we all know while building an app there are some things, some bugs we have to fix sooner or later, uh, depending on the seriousness of that bug. If that bug targets the main functionality of our app, then yeah, we have to fix that bug sooner. But if the bug or a feature bug sorry, a big feature is something like that people don't use, but we have to we have to fix that bug. So it's going to be a later bug fix. When building any app or other either webs or native, you probably want your stuff. When building any app or building any application on either web or native, you probably want your user to native through these different screens, fetch data and store states in your user. So in React, we we use we use hooks, React hooks, and pages. So we actually call those pages, but in React Native, we call those screens. So what display in this screen? So what display in this uh, browser page is like a screen. If I open this, it's a different screen. If I open this, it's a different screen. So that's how React Native, what should I saying or I don't know. Let's just it's a common thing to say. A pages as a screen. But for native app, there is even more to deal with. You need tools to upgrade your native code between React Native version, managing compatibility version of all your dependencies, and deal with native build tools. Yeah, like while building apps, we use different tools, different frameworks, different codes. We use ChatGPT code and whatever. So, what not we use for building an app. It takes village to bring an app from idea to production without right tools. If you build an app from scratch, then hats off to you guys and hats off. Listen, you you actually you actually know how to build an app. You actually know how that framework, how that tool works. If you build an app from scratch, but if you use right tools, you might not know how deep that frameworks, how deep you know that framework, but you can build an app fastly with the right tools, like fastly. So there is also like I am also gonna be uh, I'm also gonna be what should I say? My English is getting kind of better, but it's not totally better. So I'm also gonna be presenting you some tools, some frameworks which makes and ease like which makes your work for building charts way better, way better. So yeah, we want you to focus on writing beautiful code, beautiful application and feature for your user, and not saving those common problem and over again. That's why we believe the best way for you to experience React Native is through frameworks that offer toolbox with all necessary tools you need to build product-ready application. We found that you are either using framework or you're building your own framework. Yeah, but actually we are using this. We're using framework. We are using user. Majority don't build their own framework, but there are some guys, developers that build their own framework. They are crazy nerds. Yeah, there is nothing. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong building your own framework by crafting your own solution by routing, navigating, deploying, and so on. Major corporations like Meta build major corporations build their own framework internally too. integrate deeply into their brownfield labs. But we believe that most people will better off by using existing frameworks. Like, yeah, they are big cops. They're big or big orgs, big organization, big company and all. But if you're starting a startup and all, you have to build fast. Yeah, if you're building, sorry, if you're a startup company, you have to build your app fast, more reliable, more thing like you have build an app that do works fastly. The production is fast. The user experience is good. The user don't have to face any issues and all. And even if the user faces an issue, you can just say that, "Oh, okay, there is a startup. We will be fixing bugs, we will be fixing issues and all the users issue and all." So, okay. Oh, shit. Where we were. Yes. So, if you have been using React on web, you're probably familiar with the concept of production grade frameworks. Yeah, I am also in React dev, and I sometimes use Next. Oh, sorry, sometimes not. I mostly use this yes, and I sometimes use NX. NX. It's a good to Gatsby. There's also Gatsby. Expo is for okay, it's for native apps, but yeah, it's a React. It's a React. Okay, the, as of today, the only re- as of today, the only recommended community framework for React Native is Expo. So React Native is officially declaring that Expo should be your framework, your go-to start framework for building and React Native app. Folks at Expo have been investing in React Native ecosystem since the early days of React Native. As of today, we believe the developer experience offered by Expo is best in class. I actually use an Expo. You actually have to Expo. Okay, there will be a shit. Yes. So for building an expo, you have to yes, you have to have an universal app for it, an Android app. So if you run, it's okay. So start. I think it's npm expo starter. I think so. It's start. Okay. Okay. Create a project. Yeah. Yeah, NPX Expo Start. It's an NPX Expo Start. If you start that app, if you use this command on the terminal, it will open an QR, something like this in your terminal, and you can scan that QR from your app, this app, Google Play Store is called Expo. Earlier it was Expo Pro, but now it's Expo. So you can install this app on your phone, open that app, scan the QR code, and boom, the app you're building is now on your phone. But you have to use Expo. But after all the uh, all the production, like all the things you're building, and when it's come to an end, so yeah, now it's in production. Now it's an app that I can release in Play Store or publicly, and yeah, then use npx build. I think so. Go with the npx build, but yeah, that's it. So okay, folks at Expo have okay. Now that's no the Expo the framework is okay. No, Expo the framework is and will remain free and open source by code. Expo application is operational paid service. I don't think so that Expo app, the application on Android, will be ever be paid. But I think so that Expo on iOS will be paid. That's because of all the license thing for Apple Store. If you haven't used Expo recently, make sure you don't mix this top from Caddy from the Expo team, where she showcased what you can do with Expo in 2024. We also update the getting started page on the website to reflect this recommendation. Yeah, we use getting started page. How framework will affect you? If you're already using recommended frameworks such as Expo you already good to go. If you like to migrate your existing app to Expo, you can find instruction on the official Expo's website. Yeah, this website. The Expo offer many benefits such as easier way to upgrade your React Native version, better experience and much more. However, if you can't migrate to Expo, that's fine too. Using React Native without official framework will continue to be supported. The tools you have been using such as React Native Community, CLI, template, and upgrade helper will keep on working as usual. The React Native init command has been moved out of core and is now accessible via React Native React NPM Native Community CLI/React Native. Okay, before uh, I didn't know like I also built an app from Expo, but I think the first thing that uh, pass the React the way to build in React Native used to index React Native in it. You have to initialize that project. Okay. One GitHub and okay. If you are React Native dev React Native library developer, we have collected a list of recommendation on which APIs to use. Read further reading if you are interested. I don't think so that we should be reading this part. Okay, let's go to Byteshop tab. The React Native team has just declared that the, ex, the Expo framework is now officially recommended to build React Native app. Okay, that's not exactly the shocking news, but it might feel a little strange if you haven't used React Native recently. Why should you need to use whole different framework to build a React Native app? According to React Native team, because you are either using framework or you are building your own framework. First of all, that's a bar. Yeah, that's a bar. It's the same statement that React team expressed when they made a similar recommendation earlier this year for React Native. I don't know what that recommendation was. Okay, the recommend things that you have that you can use React. Sorry, you can use Next.js for building your React Native. Sorry, building your React project. Yeah. Okay, let's take a closer look at some of the key things expose save React Native developer from having built themselves, such as Cardi Karman stock at React Native conference. Okay, what the what Expo saves a React Native developer. Okay, the first thing that Expo save is access React Native capabilities. Okay, the Expo XDK act as an extended standard library for React Native with 30 plus native libraries. Sorry, 70 plus native libraries and Expo modules API makes it a lot simpler to build additional native modules. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Simple navigation. React Router gives you the file system based routing for React Native, so you can build for Android OS and web for from single code base. Actually, it's good that if you want to build an Android app, you can use Android Studio like Java and XML to build your Android app, and to build an iOS app you can use Swift. I like it. Some good language. It's an easy to use language. It's, it's straightforward. It's kind of Python, but it's not similar to Python. It's a degraded version of it's not a degraded version of Python, but it's a degraded uh, indentations like language, the way the functions and all works. It's a degraded version of iOS Swift. Sorry, Python. It's good to go. Like it's a great good to go for iOS 7. For iOS Swift, there are massive libraries for like UI libraries. The UI libraries for iOS is good. They are minimalistic. They are that's the libraries are something that makes developer use Swift instead of React Native and all. But you can also use React Native because because from a single code base, you can build an app which can run on Android, which can run on iOS and also on web. Means you can access that app from your browser, from your mobile browser, also from your laptop browser, from your PC browser, like Chrome, Brave, Arc, I don't know. There are some other browsers like there's Firefox and all. The third thing that Expo brings to React Native is native code management. Expo continuous uh, native generation tool provides a must-do experience for maintaining React Native code in your project. Okay, yeah, actually, the bottom line, you might have a good reason for choosing to build this framework functionally from scratch for your React Native. Maybe you are a large or that require custom built solution with deep uh, maybe a large object requires custom built solution with a deep integration, or maybe you are a solo dev who's trying to avoid all the weird cousins at family uh, cousins at family reunion in South Florida right now. So you are inventing a new problem for yourself to solve in the hope that it will make the next 5 day pass faster. Haha, wouldn't that be crazy? But 99% of React Native devs Expo is clearly the best option now. It is cool to see the React Native officially recognize that. That's it. Okay, this thing React Native. Actually, the most the beginners React Native developers, the people who are trying to build a React Native app, you have to use React. Sorry, you have to use an Expo as your start. And after your experience and all, if you face any difficulties, then you can build your own frameworks, or you can build your own framework on top of Expo. So it's a custom built framework for only you. So it's a good alternative of minimizing your work, minimizing your production problems and bugs if you build your framework on top of Expo. So, okay, that's it for the React Native news. The second news we are going to move on is developer. Okay, it's It's about Copilot. It's about GitHub Copilot. The developer suing over the GitHub Copilot got a got a deal a major blow in court. Okay, I used in past I used GitHub Copilot. It was great. It was great code. What should I code buddy and all. It's worked great with VS Code and all. It also works great with Neowim and all. But the things that I don't like about Copilot is that it reads my whole workspace. It reads my whole workspace and then it recommends me the code. So, so it's like so it's like it's reading the whole code. It's then pushing the whole code to a server that it's so the server is reading and then it's recommended me and based on the all the other users code bases it's recommend me how my code should be looking and the copilot like if you and I have used copilot for like 2 years like for 2 years because because of the GitHub oh sorry GitHub educational thing education GitHub education I got my data co-pilot free for my whole academic year. Sorry, the whole my academy. So for my 3 years, data co-pilot was free for me for free for my for whole 3 years. My Rumble man, okay, for whole 3 years, and you can also grab. But I recommend students to avoid using Copilot. Yeah, like, seriously, it demise it's it's degrade you as you as a developer. Like as programmer, as a developer, it degrades you, and I actually kind of not like that. Like I actually don't like that because when I stopped using GitHub Copilot, man, I was I was struggling to make a single function that grabs an information from a server, store it in a user PC as a cache, and then displaying that displaying that that information on the screen. Like it was a massive failure as me when I stopped using GitHub Copilot. But then after stop but after I stopped using GitHub Copilot, I was a great developer. I started to write code that I was understanding. I was not blindly using tab, and then and then if there's an error, I use code actions, I use quick actions, let get a copilot solve it. I was failure. I was failure as a student. I was failure as a developer when I was using GitHub Copilot. So I recommend students avoid using GitHub Copilot. If you are in techie, so like if you are work as you're working as a developer, you can use GitHub Copilot it because it reduces the what should I say the easy work, the repetitive work of a code base of a code. Like yeah, it reduces, but as a student, you don't have to reduce that thing. Like, I recommend you have to write that code. You have to rewrite that code. You can use control C, control V. You can use copy paste and copy. You can use copy and paste. You can use copy and paste, but don't use Copilot if you're a student. Yeah, because that's why. Yeah, and there is something that, and that's the thing that developers also don't like about Copilot. Like the things that it reads are code base and all. So a Californian judge dismissed nearly all claims laid out in the lawsuit that access GitHub, Microsoft and OpenAI of copying the codes of developers. The judge has tossed nearly all claims of claims a group of developers brought against her for GitHub, it's Microsoft and OpenAI. If you don't know, but the GitHub Copilot uses ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 3.5, and ChatGPT 4, and I was using 4.0 for for their copilots. And GitHub Copilot is owned by GitHub, and GitHub is also owned by Microsoft. So yeah, the developers sued the both three companies, GitHub, Microsoft, and OpenAI, in copywriting lawsuit filed in 2020. Okay, so 2020. It's in like it was a long court process. You can see lawsuit was filed in 2024, so 2022, and the results are in 2024. So it was long process. It was long court process. As reported early by the register, in court, in court order and since the last weeks, a Californian judge left two claims standing. One that accused the complaint of open source licensing violation and other that alleges breach of contract. The original lawsuit made 23 claims against the trio, accusing them of violating law by allowing the AI-powered GitHub Copilot code assistant to train developers' work. Microsoft, okay, yeah, actually, it's a valid point because when I was building a project from watching an YouTube video, which we all do at some point of our life. And while I was writing the code on my VS Code, while while also enabled GitHub Copilot, the code that I was getting recommended was exactly the same code that I was watching, on my YouTube video, like on that YouTube video. Yeah, and that whole, what should I say, whole code was also on a GitHub, which was publicly available, but it shouldn't it shouldn't recommend me the exact same code. Like it was not an minor changes, or not like a variable change or the print line statement or not. It was exact the same thing, and I don't think that GitHub Copilot is also like, I don't think that GitHub Copilot is all that. It's just accessing my, what should I say, the GitHub code base, the GitHub code base database, the code database, which is publicly available, but it is also accessing my that my caches on my, the browsing caches of my PC, and what I'm typing at what speed I'm typing. They're like, yeah, boss, I actually don't like that. Okay, Microsoft, the owner of GitHub, uses OpenAI technology to power the tool. All the three companies asked the court to throw out the lawsuit in January, but the judge John Tiger denied that request. However, 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 the Tiger latest ruling deals a blow to opposition that GitHub Copilot violates the Digital Millennium Copyright Act (DMCA) by suggesting code without proper attribution. Although the code previously ruled that a code sorry could not code although the court previously ruled that Copilot suggestion code wasn't close enough to the original source, An amended version of complaint takes an issue with GitHub documentation duplication detection filter, which user can toggle to detect and suppress suggestion matches public code found on the GitHub. The amended the amended law so argues that the GitHub users the option to receive identical code when the filter is off. It also cites the study that shows how AI model can memorize and what should I say recapitulate the part of the training data, which could potentially include copyrighted code. That's what I don't like. It actually recommended me the copyrighted code on GitHub. Open the copyrighted code, and it's a massive loop, a massive loophole. Like by, let's just assume that I am I am writing a code and all, okay, and the recommendation I'm getting is something of a code that is copyrighted, and then I open source that app that code on GitHub or on any other platform or any other code based platform, and that guy who write that copyrighted code is accusing me using his code, his identical code in my code base. So I am fighting against law so that yeah, that code was recommended me by the co-pilot, but I didn't know that it was yours code. So it was not mistake by me or that guy's mistake. It was mistake by the company, the GitHub, that it shouldn't recommend me the cooperated code. Like should it should recommend me the code, studying my code base, and the study should be local. It should be localized. Like, even if I'm offline, the code recommendation should be should be based on my code workspace and the data at which uh, that AI is trained. Yeah, it should be localized. It shouldn't be a server based. So that's why I avoid using AI based products for my code, for my coding and programming. I actually avoided using. I use ChatGPT for errors and like for things that I don't understand. Like, let me go and okay, sorry. If that's it for today. I think my mom has come. My mom has just reached the house, so the stream ends. Bye bye.